In this video, we're going to follow a Trench Crusade paint guide by Golden Demon winner and Army Painter staff member Tyler Mengle. He doesn't know we're doing this. We all watch painting tutorials to either give us an idea, inspiration, or help to build upon a skill set that we kind of already have. Or honestly, they are just something to watch because our idea of fun is watching paint dry. Personally, I watch a lot of painting videos for all of these reasons, and more often than not, I get a case of the feels bad because mine didn't quite turn out as good as the person presenting it. And that's going to happen here. So in this video, we are going to try and follow along with a video that the Army Painter put out. Tyler also has a style and approach that is the complete opposite of mine, so any kind of murmurs about me being a professional, this should even the playing field.
Tyler Mengle
and me
in studio, so let's jump right in. After priming this Stormtrooper with color primer matte black, followed by a zenith layer of color primer ash gray, Tyler begins with a speed paint base coat of Brownish Decay.
And I was today's years old when I found out this was going to be a speed paint tutorial. I don't use a lot of speed paint in my painting, and I don't zenithal a lot either. And as a little bit of a disclaimer, this video is probably not a realistic way to follow a paint guide. To make my life a little bit easier on the editing side of things, I just kind of went through section by section and followed the guide as the parts came up. In the real world, most of us would at least watch the entire video through once before going back and doing it again. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But what I can recommend is trying what you can from who you can, no matter if it appeals to you, if it's your style or not. Palette, technique, and application, this is the complete opposite from what I do. But Tyler has a Golden Demon and I don't, so as logic stands, there would be a lot to learn from him. So soak it all in, because this one video uses more brown than the entire 4 years that this channel's been a thing for. And it's not happening again.
With the trousers done, Tyler's mixing some Hardened Leather and Satchel Brown to get the perfect tone for the leather on this Prussian Mini.
Even though I'm sponsored by the Army Painter and you would expect me to say nothing but nice things, here's my first bugaboo with this video. We didn't get any kind of mixed ratio for the Hardened Leather and Satchel Brown. This happens with a lot of creators in a lot of videos, and to be completely honest, it shits me. As much as you can substitute any paint or any color that you want, step-by-step tutorials should be setting you up for success. So far so good, but I can tell you this is where things start going off the rails.
Then Boney Matter for the metal armor.
We've already put together that I don't have a lot of experience with speed paint, so this is actually another learning curve of just brush loading. I'm so used to working thin with glazes and tints that a loaded brush and then kind of just shoveling it on feels kind of wrong. And to be honest, trusting somebody else's process kind of goes against the gut feeling of what you haven't experienced. But this is also exactly why guides like this exist.
So the next layer of the armor is a mix of 3 parts Boney Matter to 1 part Hardened Leather, just to add a little bit more richness in and darken it.
See, that was actually really helpful. When we get a mix ratio, it's a lot easier to follow along with guides.
Ended up being a little strong, so I added in 1 more drop of Boney Matter and some medium.
God damn it, Tyler. This is probably also why you should watch a tutorial all the way through before you try to replicate it in the first take. This one's kind of a bit more on me. Okay, a couple of things. The original video that the Army Painter put out did not have a full paint list in the description, so I'm going to put one down here. Thing 2, the painting footage that you see here is actually the first time I had watched this footage. I wanted to try and keep it as raw and honest as possible. And thing 3 is I am a member of the Army Painter factory team, which means I could have messaged Tyler, but I didn't. I should have messaged Tyler, but I didn't. And if you do check out the paint list in the description, you can use code Heresy5 at the checkout and you'll get a sweet discount. And if you're in Australia, that same Heresy5 code also works at in-games for the entire Army Painter range.
Moving on, we have more Boney Matter mixes for the sandbags and basing.
More mixes, no ratios. Guess I'll just go fuck myself. Especially since we can tell by the color that I absolutely did not mix this together right. But sometimes close enough is just gonna have to be good enough.
Just a fun little comparison here. So here's the only speed paint next to a completely finished model.
Now Tyler says this is a fun little comparison, but here's mine. So mine doesn't look like that at all, and this is where the feels bads comes in. And I'd also imagine that a lot of us kind of go through this same thing. Now usually I wouldn't give myself any kind of grace in a situation like this, but I use spite as a motivator because I'm a competitive asshole. But for anybody painting purely for the enjoyment, this doesn't matter. Not everything's going to be a masterpiece, and not everything has to be a masterpiece. There are a lot of people in this world that do get a head start with talent, but they're also lucky enough to have the time to hone their skills. Most other hobbyists are lucky to get a few hours in a week, and honestly, that was exactly me before this channel. 10 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week tends to make you pretty decent at just about anything. Now we finally get to jump back into layering with, standard acrylic paints, and these are all from the Fanatics range. Something that I personally use day in and day out and feel fairly comfortable with. But just because you're using the same materials doesn't quite mean that you're always going to be able to replicate the outcome. And this is where the difference in mentality and approach comes in. Anytime footage of Tyler painting pops up, check out how incredibly precise his brushstrokes are. He is really only depositing paint where he wants paint deposited, and this sounds like a duh moment, but it's not how everybody works. Especially then when you compare it to the footage of me painting. Because my approach of application is a lot wider. I personally tend to sweep towards where I want to deposit paint instead of only picking out a very precise section.
Now Tyler has mixed in a bit of light battle dress to the previous color as he refines those highlights one step further.
While this difference in approach seems kind of minuscule, it does make a huge difference. I've probably watched thousands of painting tutorials, and as much as I can remember, I don't think that this has ever been discussed. You will at times get guys like Vincey V breaking down their brushstrokes to kind of explain the technique that they're using at that moment in time, but everybody kind of has their own default setting, especially when it comes to the fundamentals like a simple layer. Next time you watch a video, keep this in mind and kind of keep an eye out for it.
Repeat these steps on the trousers, this time with our first layer of webbing green.
You can already start to see the difference that these simple change in brushstrokes are making. Tyler's already has a much more darker, moody, precise feeling, where mine, because of the highlights and the way that I layer, is already a lot brighter and wider. This is going to make a big change.
So when we first discovered Trench Crusade, much like the rest of the community, we were ecstatic. The lore, the minis, the entire concept was mind-blowing, and we were eager to get some painted up and get some games going. When they told us that they were working on plastic kits, we had a feeling they would be good because everything else they've released has been top level. But upon opening the Prussian Warband, we were mesmerized at the sheer quality of the plastic.
Yeah, but they have to say that because they're working together. Wait, no, these are actually pretty solid. Disregard. That perfectly even-keeled voice that you're hearing in some of those overdubs is Adam Abramowitz. And this may piss off some of the higher-ups in the army painter, but he is the face that runs the place. I know I'm giving them shit about this whole ratio thing, but one, we do need them, and two, even if you do have them, it may not come out perfectly matched. Paint guides as a whole, no matter how much detail is provided, are still very much mileage may vary.
I'm kind of glazing this on, darken down some areas that maybe I accidentally made a little too bright. You can put this right over highlights and stuff too. It doesn't have to just be in crevices and shadows, and it's wherever you think you need a bit more darkness.
To be quite frank, I'm pretty glad that this step came up because this is getting a whole lot lighter than what it looks like it should be. And because I work generally a lot more with volumetrics, this is kind of my time to shine and pull out some of those shapes.
Moving on, using Desert Yellow from the Warpaint's Fanatics range, mixed again with our light battle dress, he's applying a layered glaze to help reinforce the highlight tones on the armor.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, glazing with lighter and brighter colors is kind of a pain in the ass because they have the tendency to go chalky. And in that little snippet, I also noticed another slight difference in Tyler and mine's approach. He seemed to have his brush loaded a little bit more than I do. Seriously, rewind it like 30 seconds and have a look. As much as people will tell you that there's rules with miniature painting, it also comes down to personal preference.
Use some of the pure light battle dress to apply an edge highlight to those sharp details using a Wargamer detail brush.
I know I'm pushing on this now, but you can really see a massive difference between our brushstroke technique. This is not quite what the video was supposed to be about, but we're here now.
He's thinned this with some Speedpaint medium to add a unifying glaze over the armor. This will help to tie together all of the previous layering.
We are actually legitimately miles away from outcomes with each other. If I were looking to perfectly replicate this paint job, this is exactly where I would start to feel like a big old bag of useless dicks.
Then to finish that off with a final highlight of, once again, that light battle dress.
Honestly, this is around the point where I would probably give up. Not to say that it's bad in its own merit, but by comparison,
Next, using Ancient Honey, you can add this to a shoulder pad for a bit of variety. You can really choose any color you want. This is a very clever and simple way to designate units, squads, or key models in your warband.
Not gonna lie, it's kinda nice to have a color that's not fucking brown. And Ancient Honey is also one of the few speed paints that I actually have a fair bit of experience with. This is the only time in this whole video that I've had any kind of confidence. Just like a lot of painting videos, we're gonna speed run through these last few steps, and yes, that is annoying, but so is editing. Honestly, this is just more of the same. It's highlighting brown. And to be honest, I think that the results are so far away from each other now that it doesn't particularly matter. I lost a lot of steam by the time we got here. And I feel like that's pretty important to address because a lot of people watching tutorials and trying to replicate the outcomes, you get the same feeling a lot. And this is also why I kind of think it's important to experiment. Throughout your journey, you're going to find a lot of paint jobs that you want to replicate, and if we are being 100, you're not going to do it. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get close, and it definitely doesn't mean that you're going to hate it. The actual point to this video is to realize and recognize how these minute differences make such a huge impact to outcome. Whether you want to or not, you will find your own style of painting just like everybody else has. The destination might be to paint some kick-ass miniatures that you're happy with on the table or in a competition, but the road to getting there is just filling your bag with as many painting tricks as you possibly can, and then having fun.
With Matte Black and Beret Maroon, he'll apply some freehand work to the armor on the miniature.
Let's be real, if I have to freehand something, it was either going to be a dick or this. As much as we take inspiration from a lot of these amazing artists that we see on social media and the tutorials that we watch to try and get better ourselves, it's worth remembering that a lot of these people have had years, if not decades, of experience painting at a professional level, and at some point they were beginners too. It's easy to follow along with a tutorial and have it come out not quite right, or at least not the same as the way that it was presented, and that's okay. In this case, Tyler is a phenomenal painter and a Golden Demon winner. I'm just a scrub that paints things that looks like a clown exploded in a 90s Taco Bell. But in this mini painting world, there is room for everyone. So just because you followed along with a guide and yours hasn't quite turned out the way that theirs has, I'm sure you'll be okay. As always, a massive thank you to InGames, The Army Painter, and all of our amazing Patreons. Big love, you filthy heretics.